afternoon, everybody. Those who are involved with the club, those who are involved with the tournament, those who are involved with the league, would be happy to be here anyway because this is very close to everybody's heart. But I must therefore very especially thank the media for being here today because you probably had 50 other things to do, but the fact that you're here joining us today, we're very, very, very grateful on behalf of the Hyderabad Golf Club. So can we please hear it for the media? Thank you. Because whatever we do, how does anyone else get to know what we're doing? It's only because of dissemination of information, and the media is, of course, as you know, chiefly responsible. There are many arms of the media now, but I am a little old-fashioned, so the traditional media for me is number one, and of course there are many other arms, so maybe there's digital media and all the rest of the social media and stuff, but thank you again very much. I don't know where to look, either here or here, but maybe both places. Golf has, as we all know, a fairly unique position in just about everywhere it's played. In India too, without doubt one can call it one of the fastest growing sports in the country because of the number of people taking to it. Now in the past, there may have been all sorts of misconceptions, partial truths, the fact that it's a slightly older person's game, somebody who's retired, somebody who's kind of, But I do think that the younger generation of India is taking to golf like never before. It's a bit like they're taking to many other sports as well. But I see many youngsters on all the golf courses in India, and to their credit, the golf courses are encouraging, inspiring youngsters to also take up the game. So I think the game is in very good hands when a whole lot of youngsters start playing any game. And so too is the situation with golf. It's also very unique because, if I may be allowed to be a little immodest once in a while, I beg your pardon, but the truth is that I've been very fortunate in my life to be associated, to have played, to have been closely related to many, many, many sports across the whole horizon. And therefore I speak from some level of strength. I, on one hand, as you mentioned, co-founded the Pro Kabaddi League, so you might say that's on one end of the spectrum in some manner or the other, and golf is quite on the other. But I love both equally, and therefore when I say that golf is a very unique place in our society, it's I actually mean it. It's not just some thing that I picked up along some quotation somewhere or whatever it is, because of what it instills in people. And there's no doubt that, as is a cliche, but it's true, that on the golf course you can find the true character of a person. And that is only because it has a very complicated set of rules. And for one to understand all of that and stay with all the rules and understand that the rules and the way of life around the game is in fact much more important than the game itself, is something that makes this game truly, and again it's a cliche but I'll say it again because it's not used these days often enough, but I'll say it again, the last bastion of gentlemanly conduct. And when I say bastion, it has a special meaning at the Hyderabad Golf Club because we're surrounded by one of the biggest bastions in the country, the Golconda Fort. So it's of course just a terrific place to play, to come to hang around, and the Hyderabad Golf Association, the Hyderabad Golf Club has done an incredible job to clean up this area, to make it environmentally sound and to make it one of the better courses in the country. Certainly one of the most scenic courses in the country. You play everywhere and you come and play here. The fort just gives you such a fabulous feeling of what would have been then and what of course we have now. Back to the league though, it's happening in many clubs in the country, around the country. Golf is essentially an individual sport. You play against yourself on the course. Of course, you play in a four-ball, so you have friends around. But it is very low on the whole concept of teams and team spirits. And therefore, these leagues, much like, say, take the name Ryder Cup or President's Cup or whatever, where teams are involved, is an aberration. It's a very different kind of golf tournament because it's not an individual, you're playing for a team, which golfers seldom or never do. So in that sense, all these leagues are extremely special because what they do is they pull the golfers into a team situation. And all of us, of course, essentially love team sport, but golf being an individual sport, we tend to stay away from it. But a league such as this, all of a sudden, there are 16 team owners. Thank you for showing heart to actually take a team because, I suppose, you wonder what are we going to get out of it? Nothing. So all our team owners, I shouldn't say nothing, a lot of joy and privilege and pride. But on behalf of the club, may I thank you once again for doing this because your contribution is extremely important to make this league successful. So thank you again. But everyone's going to, I think, love the fact that they're in a team situation now. There are 12 people in a team, vastly different people of different abilities, of different attitudes and different aptitudes, but everybody has to be together and play together. And then, of course, there's strategy and tactics of who should be in which pair or which kind of who's to play against whom. There's a lot of thinking. There's everything that happens in a team situation. So this is unique, this kind of a format in tournament. And I have no doubt, now of course I can speak for another half an hour, but I think I'll cut it short. I have no doubt that it's going to be the most coveted tournament at the Hyderabad Golf Club. It's going to be talked about for weeks, months on end, and everyone's going to say, when is it happening again? Because that's the kind of appeal it has. It's going to be fabulous. It gets together 200 players. There's a big churn. This place is going to be full all the time. There's so much talk. I'm sure you'll spread it out on various media as well, particularly social media and all the rest of your handles and everything else. So it's going to be hugely talked about. And if the Hyderabad Golf Club was not full before this tournament, it's going to be jam-packed hereafter. So watch it. Tea times are going to be a little bit of a challenge as we go along, as it is in other clubs as well. There's so much more for me to say. I just am glad that the Hyderabad Golf Club has started this. It's a very complicated process of getting a team together. First, of course, there's a team owner who may or may not play, but there's a substitution for that. There's a captain who's chosen, who then leads the way in terms of strategy and tactics. There are two other picks. Yeah, so there are other picks as well to begin with. And then, of course, there's an auction from which there were 6 players, and then there's a draft from which there were 2 players taken. So it's a huge spread of activity to try and get to 12 people. And therein lies the charm of collecting those 12 people. Just the fact that it was so spread into so many ways of picking a team. I'm sure the team owners enjoyed the collecting of the 12 players, and you get who you get. I mean, people try and get friends as much as possible, but eventually you get who you get. And there are many people in your team, I'm sure, at least 2 or 3 or 4, whom you have, is a guy, I've never seen him before, never heard of him before, but now they'll all be friends. So this club is one of the more friendly golf clubs in the country. Because of this tournament, it's going to become an extremely friendly club. I have no doubt about that. And I'm delighted that I was a part of it all. Thank you very much, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Mahi, thank you very much. And of course, VVS, great to see you here as always. And I hope you're playing some golf. More and more, yeah? Because it's a young person's game, that's why you're playing it, yeah? The young person's game, not mine. So thank you again for being here. I hope you'll follow the progress of the league and encourage all those who are doing well or not, doesn't matter, because it's going to be a fabulous collection of wonderful memories once again. Thank you very much, Mr. Reddy, for being here, for following me here. Can you name some of the players who have gone to the Olympics for India in this wonderful sport that everybody plays called basketball? Anybody? Who are the basketballers who've gone to the Olympics for India? No? No? Why? For a very good reason. Can anyone name the volleyball players who've gone to represent India at the Olympics? I mean, no disrespect. Can anyone? No? Why? Because of a very special reason. I can name 50 other sports where from India no one has gone to the Olympics. However, there are 2 golfers who are representing India at the Olympics at the highest level. So that is something I want to emphasize. It's not a chiller game. It's a really serious game that many people play very seriously. And Indians, luckily, are built in a manner where we can continue to do very well in golf. So I know Anirban didn't sort of win a medal or whatever, but he finished very well. And as you may know, Anirban Lahiri has a very strong Hyderabad connection. He's almost a Hyderabad boy. So it's great that he's representing India. No medal, but did rather well. And Uday and Mane, of course, also represented India. So golf is a serious ambition for a lot of youngsters to do well internationally. And I have no doubt, because you don't require to be 7'4" or you don't require to be 290 pounds or whatever. It's an average person's game. I have no doubt that many Indian youngsters will continue to do well in the world of golf. So I just thought I'd put that as a little pointer about the fact that golf may be played by very few people in our country per capita, maybe very few courses. It may have its own little entry barriers, but those who play really well. And I have no doubt that even at this club there are some fantastic players. So it's just a question of getting more and more people playing and increasing our standards. So it was sort of a question, but more of an answer.